Hello, and welcome to our third edition of Tiger TV News. I'm Tim Hill.
And I'm Evan Jacobs, and we have a great show planned for you today. We've got news around the school with Jess in our studio.
Our Person of the Week with Catherine Pizzella.
Our sports segment with Galvin, Begley, and Elliott. Batch, who is reporting the world news.
And of course, your personal favorite, The Cutting Edge with this week's spoof.
Now let's go to Batch with our world news.
Hey guys, I'm actually here live in Iraq. Just recently there was a very bad situation here. After a 2-hour firefight, Iraqi forces and U.S. helicopters captured an insurgent base northwest of Baghdad. U.S. military officials said that 85 people were killed in the battle. Wow, do you hear that? It sounds like they're getting closer. The fighting is coming our way. Well, military officials said that after 2 hours of intense fighting, the insurgents began to retreat. Man, it's starting to get really loud and bad here. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you, Batch, for informing us on what's going on in the world today.
Now let's kick it to Jess with a little news around the school.
Course signups will be in March. For AP courses, students will need a signature from a teacher in the subject, and both the student and their parents will need to sign an AP contract. For students who still owe money for their AP testing, the payment deadline is March 31st. The course trip is coming up on Mother's Day weekend, which is May 6th through 8th. We'll meet in the chorus room around 10:30. More information soon. The spring concert will be May 12th at 7 o'clock. April 6th is Mr. DHS, showing at 7 o'clock. $3 for students and $5 for others. Well, that's pretty much it, besides a reminder about the cabaret on April 6th in the high school cafeteria. There's dinner and music, starting at 6.
That was great, Jess. Thanks.
Well, how about we check out our sports segment, Tim?
That sounds great, Evan. What do you got for us this week, guys?
Hello, and welcome to this edition of Sports Center. This week we'll be doing a segment to the NCAA men's basketball tournament, and a little something on steroids. Okay, and now for the brackets for the Syracuse region. We got the UNC versus Villanova matchup. It's the number 1 against the number 5. Then we go down, we got Wisconsin versus NC State, which is a 6 and a 10. Then we go down to the Austin region. Then in the Austin, we got Duke, Michigan State, number 1 and a number 5. Then we go down and we got Utah versus Kentucky, which is a 6 and a 2. The Chicago region, we got number 1 Illinois taking on Wisconsin, Milwaukee, which is the number 12 seed. Then you go down and you got Arizona taking on Oklahoma State, which is a 3 versus a 2. Lastly, we got the Albuquerque region, which is Washington versus Louisville, a number 1 and a number 4. Then you go down and you got Texas Tech taking on West Virginia, which is a 6 versus a 7. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Rob, for that wonderful segment on the brackets. Now it's for our steroid special. Take it away.
Gee willikers, Catman, they got me surrounded. I'm on my way.
I gotta get man. Do you think his record should ever be erased or asterisked or anything?
I think they should research how far he did take the steroids and erase all the parts that he did take the steroids for, to give him some fair chance.
You think Canseco is telling the truth as far as people using him goes?
No idea.
Who do you believe is guilty?
Mark McGuire.
Who else?
Jose Canseco.
Well, That's all we got for today. Now let's send it back to the studio with Evan and Tim.
Thanks, guys, for that great sports report. Now let's kick it to Tom with our person of the week, Catherine Pizzella.
Today on Person of the Week, we're going to talk to Catherine Pizzella about the Mr. DHS pageant. Who are the contestants this year for the Douglas High School pageant?
All of the contestants this year are senior boys. They are Tim Hill, Mike Goldenberg, Eric Quinn, Ryan Begley, Evan Jacobs, Pat Murphy, and Josh Mellon.
How were the contestants chosen?
We had a meeting with all the senior boys. We explained what the competition entailed and what they would be asked to do. And then we had people sign up volunteer basis because we thought it would be much more fun if the guys wanted to do it.
What are the categories this year for the competition?
The competitions they will be competing in are, they do a casual wear, they do a swimwear, a formal wear, which we have tuxes being donated from Occasionally Yours this year, so that's really exciting. They each perform a talent, they are each interviewed, and that's it.
How come you only decided to go with the seniors this year instead of everyone?
Last year we chose 2 boys from each grade, and it went pretty well. We decided that seniors would be better because generally the seniors have much more confidence up on stage. They've been around longer, they can have more fun, they feel a lot more comfortable. So also it's something that they can look forward to. The underclassmen can start thinking about what they want to do if they want to be in it when they're seniors. So,
What will the winner of the pageant receive?
besides being crowned Mr. DHS and being able to wear his crown around school if he wants to, we also have prizes that are available for the first, second, and third place winners. We're not going to tell you what the prizes are right now because we want you to come see the show.
All right, awesome. So that was Catherine Pizzella talking about the Douglas High School pageant. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Tom and Catherine, for letting us know a little more about the Mr. DHS competition.
Well, how about we check out this week's Cutting Edge spoof, Tim?
That sounds great, Evan. Let's go to the Cutting Edge's Ode to Mullets.
On this week's edition of The Cutting Edge, we're doing an ode to mullets.
The mullet is a spectacular specimen of human achievement.
It's business in the front and a party in the back. Alternately ridiculed and revered, the mullet is perhaps one of the greatest hairstyles in history.
Before we actually show you the mullets, we're going to show you the characteristics of them with our expert, Eric Quinn. Take it away, Eric.
A mullet is short on top and long in the back. Now let's get to the mullets. Here we have a book called The Mullet, and within it lies the many kinds of mullets. Shall we indulge in what we have?
I think we shall, Eric. I think we shall.
First off, there is the Midwest mullet. Next we have Nashville, which is famous among people from the South. There's the modern rock mullet, the classic rock mullet, the relief pitcher, which is a big fan of Randy Johnson, the Latin soccer mullet, the Visigoth, the Eastern Bloc, the English mullet, which has been attached to Ringo Starr, the Offender, the movie star mullet with Mel Gibson, and the inspirational mullet.
Here we have Patrick Colin Murphy, and we're going to get his opinion on the mullet. Pat, what do you think about the mullet?
I think the mullet is the greatest hairstyle known to man.
Greatest?
Greatest, especially the feathered ones in the back, you know?
Yeah,
do you know what I'm saying?
What do you think about bald on top and long in the back?
I'm a fan of the skullet.
Yeah. What are your opinions on the mullet?
Well, it's a dying art. It's a dying art form. It's a piece of Americana history.
I know.
Isn't it?
True.
And what would the 80s be without the mullet? What else was good in the 80s? Nothing. But I did see some great pictures of Mr. Reardon's mullet.
Really?
Yes.
Was it
a flaming red mullet?
So what kind of mullet did you have?
All right. The mullet that I used to wear, and this was back in the late 80s when I was performing with my band. The mullet that I had was back on the sides. It was short and tight on the sides, and it was kind of combed back up top. but the back of it really was kind of puffy. It kind of feathered out. Because what we used to like to do, and I guess, you know, you were really the man if you could do this back at the time, was if you could really tie it back and get it into like a ponytail with an elastic. Now, I never had the mullet long enough where that looked decent. It always kind of looked like maybe a little turd on the back of the head kind of thing.
You wanted the Billy Ray Cyrus look.
There you go. There you go.
Now, were you more made fun of having a red-haired mullet, or were you still like, did you have the same respect that everyone else with a mullet had?
The redheaded guys weren't always the guys that were, you know, sought after, so to speak, by the ladies. But I did okay. You know, lead singer in a band, you do okay. I heard the carrot head, and you know, I got all that stuff. But it wasn't a big deal. It wasn't a big deal.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's edition of The Cutting Edge. Now let's kick it back to Tim Hill and Evan Jacobs up in the studio.
There's nothing else to say, but wow, I think I'll start growing my mullet today.
That sounds like a plan, Evan.
Well, this concludes another edition of Tiger TV News.
This is Tim Hill.
And Evan Jacobs, signing off.
You stay classy, Douglas High School.
Boom, bada boom, boom, bada boom, boom.
Wicked, wicked.